Hi, everyone. Welcome back to That Sewing Blab. I'm Myra.
I'm Dawn.
And we're so happy to bring you another wonderful episode of That Sewing Blab. And we apologize for the small technical difficulties we had today, but we're beyond that, hopefully for a while now, and we can get the show started. I know that Dawn wants to get in and get started on our guest tonight. I do too. I am so pumped. I could jump out of this seat right now. I'm going to pass it on over to the lovely Dawn so she can, talk a little bit about that.
Yes, I'm very excited this week. We have Darrell Graham from Darrell Thomas Textiles coming on. He owns a store in Ottawa, which is also, you can find his fabrics online. He's going to be, I was looking at them today. Yeah. And I don't know, normally when you introduce someone that you haven't met, it's a little different than when you've met them. I met Darrell at the Frocktail party, which was the Ottawa Sewing Guild. Our Ottawa Garment Guild had a Christmas party, the Frocktail party, and he was there, and it was just fabulous meeting him. So we'll pull him up here.
Jealous.
Yeah, it was lovely. Yeah, last week's show was a lot of fun. Those ladies were lovely. So here comes Darrell. Darrell, when I met him, said that he was an introvert, and I'm like, I'm the same way. I'm fine behind a computer.
Me too. Hi,
hello. Yeah, we're both introverts that I think, especially if you know what you're talking about, like Darrell does, that's kind of when you kind of come out of your shell a little bit more, when you're passionate about something. He has been working with textiles for a very long time. He's very knowledgeable. And having been in his actual store and seen the fabric, touched the fabric, caressed the fabric, as well as seeing the way his store is laid out with his staff and everything. It is an amazing store. So it'll be very interesting to discuss, his sewing life story, not life story, but his sewing origin story. I can't wait to hear it, Darrell.
Me too. And I want to add to that too, because that makes three of us. I'm also an introvert, and I want to hear how a mega superstar like you, Darrell, has done all of this. Being an introvert and socially awkward and seeing the amazing things you've done. Come on, you got to share that whole journey with us. You have to.
Oh my gosh, 3 introverts. Oh my gosh. I remember when I met Dawn at Frocktails, she walked up and said, "Hi, Darrell, I'd like to introduce myself, and I run this blog, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that, and I'd like to interview you." And I'm like, why? Darrell, I'm like, but why? Because I don't get it. I'm just Darrell, and it's interesting because last week when Dawn and I talked, and I saw the amazing show on the Ottawa Garment Guild, I was humbled incredibly, and I had to send an email to Vicky and tell her thank you, because those nice things that she said about me were very, very, very heartwarming. It was very, very nice episode. So it's great. I try my best every day, so when I succeed, it's great, but I never think that I'm this big superstar or this big place that nobody can come to. I just want to be that down-home place that everybody's welcome to, but sometimes people put me on a pedestal like Dawn did, and it's kind of shocking.
Yeah, it was very easy to, well, no, it was very difficult to approach you, but you made it easy once I was there to have the conversation. And yeah, it was very good. Thank you for that, because it's very nerve-wracking walking up to someone and saying hi, but Darrell was walking around with hors d'oeuvres and talking to people too. So how's that for an introvert? Yeah.
Well, people were drinking when we weren't eating, and I'm very, very shy, but I thought, okay, if I can make it my own, I can meet every single person in this room. So I grabbed the trays from the waiter and walked over and said, hi, I'm not your server, but I just want to say, first of all, would you like an hors d'oeuvre? And second of all, I love your outfit. So I got to meet every single people at Frocktails. So it was really fun.
Cool.
Now, I didn't ask Darrell in the comments, Myra, because I wanted to hear it, when we had our test, because I wanted to hear it now. I would love to hear how you started sewing. What sparked this kind of lifelong love with fabric?
It's a really interesting story because my grandmother sewed on my mother's side, but unfortunately she had a stroke when I was young, so I never knew of her as a sewer, and I never sewed. And I did a home ec class in grade 8, and my teacher was let's put it this way, a not very nice lady who didn't really like boys.
Oh boy.
And so I almost failed my class. So I kept my report card to this date, and it says Darrell did not complete his patchwork pillow, but I still passed. But after that, my friends were sewing their prom dress, and they're 2 girls, and they thought it would be funny to tell me, why don't you sew? So they stuck me in front of the sewing machine and said, sew. So I kind of asked them, what do I do? What do I do? And I finished a strapless dress, and my friend won best dress at prom.
Wow.
So my mom said, well, why don't you go and take a sewing lesson? So I went to the local Algonquin college and did some classes. And it was nice, although I wasn't learning because they weren't pushing us enough. And I kind of stopped sewing again, but it was always in the back of my mind. I would look at people wearing clothing, and every now and then somebody would say, I made this. And I thought, you made it. Like, you made this garment. It's so cool. And I just went out and got a great job and was working, and I was just never happy. So I quit everything and had all my savings and went to school and became a fashion designer.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That is fabulous. And I wonder what that teacher in home ec is thinking now.
Well, I'm really lucky and fortunate because there was a teacher in high school that was a substitute, Mrs. Barrett. And Mrs. Barrett, I remember the day she came into my class, and she was wearing a long denim dress, and she was a beautiful, beautiful lady. And one of the girls said, oh, Mrs. Barrett, you look very pretty today. And she goes, oh, thank you. She goes, I like your dress. She goes, I made it. And I thought, wow. So I went to her and said, Mrs. Barrett, you made your dress? She goes, yes, Darrell, I sew. And I'm like, wow. And I remember to this day what she was wearing. And she was kind of my inspiration to get me back into it. And then one day when I had my first location of this store, Mrs. Barrett walked in, and she didn't recognize me, but I told her, and she ended up going through the system as a teacher and ending her career as a principal in Toronto. And she came back to Ottawa to tell me that I was in a retirement speech. That she said, you never know when you bump into someone, and I never thought that I touched you that way. But I was your inspiration, and I will go to my grave feeling great that I inspired you. And I love it. It makes me feel warm inside. It's a great woman.
Yeah, that's amazing. And we talked about it on the show before, Darrell, about why, they've taken home ec out of the schools, which is such a sad situation because so many of us, myself included, started with that initial home ec. I actually had it in elementary, junior, and high school. And they no longer share that. It's truly, truly sad that they've done that. Truly sad. That's an awesome story.
There's a lot of, there's a lot of girls that can learn to sew. And I think if you had a great teacher that made it fun, I think it would be such a wonderful thing. But I have so many boys that are interested, and we have so many guys in our sewing classes now. And it's wonderful because our ladies really enjoy the company of the men. And, when I went into it, I was teased by all the girls in the class, and that's what made it not fun. But these days, you're just not teased anymore this way. So it's really interesting. Like, I would love to be a home ec teacher to get the boys and the girls and just have fun with it and create sewing clothes.
Absolutely. We had one guy in our my high school class, and I remember his name. I won't share that here because I don't have his permission, but he ended up a costume designer. And the only people that teased him weren't us in the class, but the guys that he were with outside of the class teased him.
Yeah.
But yeah, he ended up a costume designer. Very, very good. So yeah, I agree with you. We need more, because there are guys who are we've had other guys on the show who are actually sewing and, have done different things. We need more of that. We do.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
I was just thinking about that, Myra. I wonder what strategies as sewers or sewists we can do to get more men into sewing, to feel comfortable about it. I'm not sure. Darrell, do you have any suggestions? Yeah. I mean, I'm.
Well, we started a few classes and we introduced them, and they were really well received. But now, like for example, we had a gentleman join us last January. I'm going to say his name because I know he loves hearing his name. So his name is Jason. And I was on vacation in December, and he was emailing all about his classes starting in January. And I thought, this guy's a pain in the butt. Like, he just keeps asking questions. And I got back, and it's this big, tall, blonde-haired guy, and he's in this class with his friend, and he had never sewn before. And he said, I want to make my own clothes, and I want to do this. Well, in January, he started classes, and now this is 1 year later. This guy is making all of his clothing. He's showing in our fashion show in fall. He's unbelievable, and every single class he's done, he said, how can I be better? Well, Jason, I would do this, and he's worked really hard at it. And the women love him, but everyone in the store, we all love him. He's such a great person, but such an inspiration. I tell him all the time, like, you really pushed hard, and look what you got. You never made your own clothes, and now, even now, he's taking orders. So he's making sweaters and he's making underwear for his friends. So good on him. Yeah,
that's amazing. And looks like we have someone from our audience, Carrie from our audience, says we teach them early, and I agree. We start early.
Yes, absolutely. And you know what? Make it fun. We often tell our students, you may go to other places and have classes and they tell you, oh, you made a mistake, but it's okay. At least you tried. We tell them all that also, but we make them unpick, because that's what a real sewist does. So I often say, you sometimes won't like my answer, but it's for your best. We're trying to make you into a really great sewer. And, it warms my heart when you see one of my students showed up to class tonight, and she told me 3 months ago, I can't believe I'm taking a 101 class. Do you think I'll be okay? I said, oh my God, we'll take care of you. Don't worry. But tonight, she made her muslin for her online dress class.
Wow.
And I looked at her and I said, you made a dress muslin on your own. Like, this is a great thing. Like, you're on your way. By the end of this year, she's going to be making her own clothing. So it's just wonderful. There is so much inspiration. Like, people often say, fabric stores are closing and sewing is not interesting. I totally 100% disagree. There's such demand, and everyone's so excited and positive about it. And it's fantastic. Sewing is definitely on the mend, and it's doing really, really, really well.
Quick question for a tip, Darrell. Since you've gone through it, if any of us out here, because I know some of the people in our audience are actually teachers, they teach sewing, they're teaching sewing. Okay. If one of their students came to them who happens to be male and says that they're being picked on or treated, or do you have any advice that we should give, that student to help encourage?
Tell them to give me my email address and I'll take care of the bully. Oh, yeah. It's so hard, because I unfortunately got picked on by a girl who definitely, I'm sure, was gay, but she was in with her boyfriend, and we were in the class, and I remember her statement. We sat in the hallway waiting for class, and I'm timid. I am shy, and she obviously said, oh, there's a guy in our class. I said, yeah, and she goes, oh, you're a fag? Hey. You never go home without that. It's always been with me. And I always tell these guys, you know what? I don't care what you are. If you're here to learn to sew and you're shy, I go in and I tell the ladies, I just want to let you know that there's a boy joining the room and he's a little bit apprehensive. So you know what? We're all going to take care of him and this and that. And my clients are absolutely stunning human beings, but they really, really hold him close and take care of him. So if somebody's bullying them, I hope that they approached the teacher and explained, like, please don't make a big rigmarole about this, but I am being bullied and I really am interested in sewing, and I hope the teacher has it in their heart to coddle that person, because whether it's a girl or it's a boy or it's a dog or it's a cat, or nobody deserves to be bullied in life.
Okay. Thank you for that.
It's not in the spirit of sewing. Sewing is, that's nothing to do with sewing. We get
No.
Yeah.
No.
So we did talk about how you own this fabulous fabric store. And you've already mentioned, it definitely is. You also mentioned that you do classes as well. I was hoping, much like how your fabrics are very high quality, gorgeous fabrics, a lot of them designer fabrics, your classes are very good too. Like, sure, you might do a basic t-shirt, but then you also do, like the cropped Chanel style jacket, like you mentioned earlier about unpicking. It is about quality. I was wondering if maybe you could tell us a little bit about, why you started the classes and how you think they're going.
Sure. Well, when we opened 19 years ago, and we were just a fabric store. I used to work at Marshall's, which was a high-end fabric store until it went bankrupt. And then we opened our own store, and I didn't want to teach lessons. I just thought, I'm going to be a vendor of beautiful fabrics, and I love fabrics, and fabrics make women beautiful, and women are beautiful. So you know what? This is a great thing. And throughout, year after year, people said, well, why are you not teaching sewing? So I went to the community college and I taught there, and I didn't really like it there. And then I would say around 12 years ago, we started a small classroom, and we said, well, we're going to show you how to sew, but I'm going to do the sewing and you're going to take notes. There's no sewing in the class. I'm not teaching beginners. I'm not this, I'm not that, I'm not. And the more and more we went along, there was such a demand that people said, please teach us how to sew. So then I thought, okay, well, we can do this, but I want to do it my way. And my way is, I want to hug my clients. So if you're coming into my store for learning to sew, you're going to get a teacher that understands that you know nothing, and we expect you to know nothing about sewing. And we're not going to laugh at you. We're going to show you the sewing machine, and we're going to show you to the best of our ability how to sew. So we started doing the 101, which is learn to sew, and then the 102 is pajama pants, and then we built the skirt in there, and then those people advanced and said, do something else. So then I did a Chanel jacket and an online dress, and it grew and grew and grew. But the one class that is the most extreme class in our store is the tailored shirt. And I was this close to writing a book on shirt making because I love shirt making, and I'm a guy, and it's what else can we make for ourselves? And it is my class. I know how to make a shirt with my eyes closed, and it warms my heart when somebody gets to that level and they do my shirt making class. I love that they're most often their eyes bulge out of their heads. Like, oh my God, like, this is edge stitching. I can't believe he's making me edge stitch again. It is just the greatest thing. So right now, we just hired another teacher. So we currently have 6 teachers teaching in our classroom, and we're teaching on Sunday. So we teach every day of the week because there's not enough hours in the day to get all of our students through. So as I said, there is a lot of demand for sewing. It's wonderful. But we teach beginner all the way to the shirt, and lined coat, raincoat, everything, and everyone's doing garments.
Wow. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, and I know at some point before we run out of time, and just a heads up to everybody who's out in the audience right now, if you have a question for Darrell, please post your question in the Ask the Question link below, and we promise we'll get to those questions before the end of the show. But we probably want to talk a little bit more about your fabric and that kind of stuff too, don't we, Don? Moving into some of that. Let's see. Now, Dawn, do you want to show some of the things first, or are we gonna? We already talked about encouraging men more to sew. How about Dawn said something in her notes about the importance of fabulous customer service. So that means to me that there's something going on at your store with that. Is that true?
There is, and it's secret. I'll tell you. I have the best staff in the whole entire world. I love my employees. They're the greatest people. You know, you go through life and you do these things, and I worked hard with my store, and I thought I knew what I wanted, and then you get employees, and everybody has a disposition. And I realized that I go to work every day the way you do, and I want to be treated a certain way, and I'm always in a good mood, and I try to be in a good mood. But I had an employee every now and then would show up and they would ooh-poo-poo everything. And I thought, you know what? No. So I hired Kayla, who is the head of my atelier now. And I remember in her interview, I said to her, everyone has the right to have a bad day. All I'm asking you is, if you come to work and you're having a bad day, can you respect me enough to just say, can I just be quiet just for a little bit? I'm having a bad day, but you know what? I'm going to do the same thing for you. And never once in the whole time that she's worked for me have we ever had a bad day. And then each time we hired another employee, they were told the same thing. And I'm so lucky that there's such amazing people that they get my vision. When you come into my store, it's not about your money. You come in, I want to show you, look at the fabric that I bought from Italy. I'm so excited. It's so beautiful. And you know what? Maybe it may be in your budget and maybe it's not in your budget. But if you're excited about it, I want to show it to you. And my staff are the same way. So when my clients come in, we try to remember people's name, and we are genuinely interested in your well-being and how you sew. So if I had a client the other day take a class from another store, and she just couldn't get the answers from them, and she felt terrible. And she came into my store and she said, may I just show you this? So I came and I said, okay, you know what I would do? I would do this, blah, blah, blah. And I got a beautiful letter at the end of the evening, and it said, that wasn't even your class and you helped me. And I really appreciate that. And then again, my heart explodes. So, you know, you do, like, everything that I do nice, I get tenfold back. So that's what we try to do in our store. Like, we're passionate about our fabric, but we're really passionate about our clients. They are the greatest people, the greatest people.
And I can attest to this. I didn't meet them all, but the ones I met were lovely, and yeah, very helpful. And yeah, it's a really nice feel in there. Yes. Speaking about your store, I mean, the fabrics, they were so lovely. And you do have a quite a range in price, you know, from more economical to the designer gorgeous fabrics. And I think that's really cool that you do have that, the range, and that there is just some amazing fabric. So definitely, if you want to see his website, and we can pull up a photo of it in a little bit, it's in the information up above if you're watching live on Crowdcast, and it would be in the notes in YouTube. So Darrell Thomas Textiles. And now we'll show you some of the fabrics. They're so beautiful.
Yeah, I know, right? Oh my gosh.
Maybe you could tell us a little bit about the fabrics when I pull them up. If the computer, yes, the computer is working. Yay.
Wow. This is a beautiful piece of fabric. We got this in last year, and it's a heavier weight viscose. Like this, obviously in the shirt is a cotton, but the one we have is a viscose. But this was worn on Empire, and it's by Gianni Versace's house.
Wow.
So we got the fabric, and we sold out in 1 week. And I made a dress for a client. I made a skirt for a client, and it's a Versace graffiti collection. So now my supplier went to Italy recently and found another piece. So I bought it. I don't like duplicating my pieces, but because nobody really saw this one, we brought it back in the store. And it's really a conversation piece, but like in it, it's all graffiti. It's done by a major artist, and you can see the words Versace collection and things like that written in it. A very, very interesting piece.
Oh,
wow.
Cool. And
That is cool.
And then there's another one. Sorry.
And
that's one of my favorite shows, by the way.
Oh, okay. Well, this is going to blow your mind. Usually, okay, so our supplier goes to Italy and buys from the mills that manufacture fabric for the designers. So often when we get certain fabric like Dolce & Gabbana, Versace, all these things, people come in and say, oh, so you buy from Versace? No. I buy from the mills. So usually the way it goes is the one in the picture right there, that's Chanel. The word that we can never use in the store because it's trademarked and you're not allowed using that word ever because it's their name. But in that picture are these beautiful first 1, 2, 3, 4 garments. First 5, the ladies' pants in the back are there also. We got the 3rd garment, the beautiful silk chiffon, that came into our store. And I said, oh, it's really, really nice. And they said, yeah, it's from this major collection. And they show me this picture. So this was available online at Chanel for $9,500 for that dress. Ooh. We have that fabric on our floor for $180 a meter. So although it's $180 a meter, for 3 meters of fabric, I can make that dress. So it's $600 versus $9,000. So, and then we just got the other 2, the first 2 suitings are silk and cotton. So we got those in too. And it's fun because a lot of my clients, of course, Chanel, everyone loves Chanel and we appreciate it and it's gorgeous, but we can't afford it. It's just unobtainable. So every now and then when you get a piece of fabric that they use, it's so nice that you can make a skirt and feel pretty in it. And wow, I got this designer piece of fabric and maybe it cost you $180, but it's a lot better than $1,000 for a skirt.
Well, I'm glad you said that because that's one of the conversations that I had with Dawn because I mentioned to her, I said, oh, the fabrics are a little pricey. Now, I'm one who would spend, depending on my mood, some money for some fabric. I really would, and Dawn knows I've done it. But one of the things is I like the way you explained it because that's exactly the way people should look at it. When you see a piece of expensive fabric and you might tend to say, I'm not going to spend that much for fabric. But think about it. If you have a special occasion and you want something that's really unique and really special and you can't afford that designer, but you can get that designer fabric, wouldn't you want to spend that money for it? I love the way you explain it.
Yeah, there's one that I think Dawn has a picture of, and it's a Dolce & Gabbana. It's the birds. One of my employees was Googling the other day and found, yeah, that's it.
This one?
It's, no, the one before it. That one. There you go.
Oh my, wow.
So we have that fabric. And it's a polyester, and it's 100% waterproof. It's gorgeous fabric. And we brought it in, and I thought, oh, this is really great, but there's no name on it. So I don't know. I know it's an Italian designer, but who used it? So we have it on the floor. Kayla was looking for a new piece of fabric because whenever we get fabric in, we have to Google what we see to see if we can find the designer that used it in their collection. Well, Kayla came upon this and emailed it to me and said, look at this, it's Dolce & Gabbana. So this bomber is $1,200 for the jacket. We have that fabric in our store for $36 a meter.
What? Oh my
Yeah,
God.
so I can make, yeah, you need 1.5 meters to make that jacket, or let's say even 2 meters. So for $70, you can make that jacket rather than pay $1,200.
Now, I have to ask you, Darrell, is that does that ever cause you any problems to have the fabric, or?
No, because it's bought by the mill. I think I understand that they have an agreement from the designer. So more or less, Dolce & Gabbana will go and they'll say, here's my pattern. Can you mill me this fabric? And they mill a roll of fabric. And Dolce & Gabbana comes in and says, okay, I'd like 1,000 meters. And they said, well, we milled 1,200. Okay, well, you can sell that fabric in 2 years. So we often get it back from when it's already been sold. Like Dolce & Gabbana is sold out of this now. It's all sold. So they're not worried that we have it because it's already done. They're on to the next collection. And we're not about plagiarizing their name. I love all these designers and I think they're doing well, but there's a lot of us that just cannot afford their prices in stores. So there's a market for everything, but why destroy the fabric? Why not let people like us get a piece of it? So there's some really, even though they're designer pieces, it doesn't mean they're expensive. So $36 a meter, and we posted this the other day, and I think we have like 10 meters left, but it's been selling like crazy.
Wow.
And
Okay.
and I know the designer thing's important because I mean that adds value in a way. But I also think like the piece of fabric that I fell in love with at your store. We've seen it a lot. It's one of my uncuttable fabrics.
Yeah, I sent you a picture of it too.
Yeah, it's amazing, seriously. But when I saw it, and you do have pinned to some of the fabrics, like where it was on the runway sometimes, but it wasn't the brand name that drew me to it. It was the actual fabric. It is really high quality fabric. It has a gorgeous weave, feel, texture, print. And I think it's the same thing with this fabric here. The fact it's a waterproof fabric that's printed with the cute little birds and the leaves and everything. I mean, for not even thinking about the fact it's a designer, that is an amazing price because you often don't see that sort of thing myself.
No, the waterproof fabric. And I bought it because I thought, oh, wow, you know what? It's really inexpensive and it's pretty, but I would never have thought Dolce & Gabbana. So it just, all of a sudden, when you find the photo, it really does help.
Wow, that's amazing.
That one was really cool. See, I just make sure I got all the ones that you sent me. That
one right there, that one's your fabric.
Oh, yeah.
How did I not recognize that at first?
I know. I knew. I thought, okay, she'll be happy when she sees this.
I think it was because it was a little small at first.
Little one, yeah. Dawn's fabric that she bought, she walked in and said, oh, I fell in love with this fabric with her husband. And she ended up getting a beautiful piece of it. And that is a Dolce & Gabbana cherry blossom. That's from their collection. So in the picture, it's she has the matelassé dress in it. And they made coats and they made blouses out of we had the cotton too, but you got the matelassé, which is, it's gorgeous. It's like a Ferrari of fabric.
It's mind-boggling. It was my major Christmas present this year for my husband, and it was best Christmas present ever. Yeah, it's gonna be hard to cut it. I won't lie, but I'm going to because I'm gonna wear that. So that's gonna be.
Look at how good it looks. It's beautiful.
Yeah, and I'm just double checking to make sure that was all of the ones that. Oh no.
Okay, I'm gonna have to start shopping for my Christmas present from my husband.
Yeah.
This one is a stunning piece. I'm so happy with this. He brought back a scarf. So what happens is often the mill will give him a picture, and they gave him this picture with the scarf panel, and we got it with the scarf, but instead of where you see green, ours is like a burgundy, a light burgundy, and they're scarf panels by Gucci, and they're all stamped, and they're stunning. But we have the fabric, so they're not finished, but it's fabric. And I just unpacked the box this morning, and one of our clients who loves Gucci was standing in the store, and she said, oh my God, can I see it? And I opened it up, and as she was holding it up, another client was buying her fabric at the cash and said, what is that? I said, it's a Gucci scarf panel. It's 150 centimeters by 150 centimeters. And that scarf is, I believe it was $250 a scarf. We have 4 of them, and 2 of them sold within 5 minutes of it being open because they're so big. You can make a whole dress out of them. But that dress that they're in the mannequin, in the model, they don't even have it available because I went to Gucci in Hawaii recently, and they had the Gucci top, and the Gucci top exactly like that was $3,000. So you can make it out of one panel of silk. You could have made the same top. So it's that one's shocking because it's currently available and we have the scarf panel, but now we have it in a different color. So maybe that's why they had leftover. Maybe they did it in green and said, I'm not doing it in the maroon. So that's how we got the maroon, but it's still a beautiful, beautiful piece of fabric.
Yeah. Oh, amazing.
Yeah. Oh, in maroon. Yeah. Yeah. So definitely some gorgeous fabrics. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, it must be so exciting, like opening the boxes and seeing the samples and yes.
It is. The only not fun part is paying the bill.
Yeah.
It's just like, not fun at all. But it's really, I'm very, very fortunate because this company I wasn't buying from because their original sales rep was not very friendly. And they got a new sales rep, and he was very, very nice. And he came to my store, and I bought 1 piece of Armani wool. And it grew and grew and grew. And now this man has, I would say, over 50% of my store is his fabrics. But in saying that, he sells to all North America, and he's become my friend. And so whenever he goes to Italy and comes home with his wife, he always drops in and shows me the first samples in all of North America. So in our store, although being a small, tiny little store in Ottawa, Canada, we have exclusive pieces from Gucci. We have those scarf panels. This morning we got in the Dolce & Gabbana. It's a black, beautiful silk and cotton with the lemons that we had before. We had 10 meters of that. Well, he said that's the only roll that came in. But we sold 6 meters this morning. So I tried to get more, and he said, no, you're the only one that got the piece. So in all of North America, we were the ones that got it. So I feel so honored to bring this fabric to my clients in our store. Yeah.
Now, a question for you. You do ship internationally, right?
Well, I am totally not tech savvy, as you well know that you had to take forever to get me onto this show. But 4 months ago, we started on Facebook and Instagram and things like that. But one of my, Kayla, got me onto Instagram and said, you know what, you should be posting in this. So in the last 4 months, we started texting or posting a beautiful piece. Like I texted that Gucci picture, and I said, oh my God, we're going to be getting this scarf in. And all of a sudden, our phone starts ringing. Mm-hmm. And it's people from the States. It's the people from Australia. It's all around the world are saying, can you ship me this fabric? I'm like, oh, sure. So after a couple months of going crazy, every time we post something, we're mailing it somewhere. Kayla had said, well, you know what, why don't we go on Shopify and go online shopping? Because customers right now currently call us and we process your credit card over the phone because that's all we can do to get these orders out. But once you know us and trust us, then it's not an issue. But for people that are first-time buyers, it's kind of weird not buying online. So in January, we implemented our store with Shopify. So now we have an iPad, and our inventory is being entered into the computer as we speak. And I believe, fingers crossed, that March 1st we're going live. So we will have an online shopping fabric store.
Yay! Awesome. Did you hear? I'm already making my list for my husband for Christmas.
Fantastic.
Well, we were talking about this in the green room, Myra. There's a couple fabrics. This is the Instagram, the Darrell Thomas Textiles Instagram. And there might be a couple here that could be very interesting.
Yeah. That is gorgeous. That is absolutely gorgeous. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, goodness. That it's just fabulous. Yeah.
Otherwise, I was going to be sending Dawn to pick it up for me and ship it to me.
I wouldn't mind.
Well, we're going to be having Frocktails again this year. And why don't you come down to Frocktails?
Don't tempt me.
Myra and I've never met in person. We've never
come to Ottawa.
That would be awesome.
We'd love to see you.
Well, I was in Canada. Was that last year, Dawn? But I didn't get quite close enough.
Yes. One day we'll meet in person. There'll be some loud squealing you might hear, Darrell.
Fantastic.
But we also have a couple other photos to show, just because, goodness me, like I don't think I can kind of express, just, how cool the fabrics are. I love fabric shopping, but these are pretty spectacular and definitely worth noting. So I made a teeny little slideshow, and then there's a quiz. So people who are watching, we have a quick quiz for you, very quick. You don't have to study. So this is another one of the fabrics. I was wondering if
this is from the Dolce & Gabbana collection. It's the tulip collection from Italy, and now we only have, which is interesting that you show this one. This is a beautiful piece of silk pongé that we have in stock, and it'd be a beautiful dress or a blouse. But this morning we got a roll, and I thought, I don't even remember ordering this, and I got this exact print in a rain coating. So it's light that you can make the bomber like the butterfly one, and it's $60 a meter for Dolce & Gabbana.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, that's amazing.
I just received it at 5 o'clock. I opened the roll and I thought, this is unbelievable. It's so beautiful.
Wow.
Yeah, just kidding.
Now, Darrell, I'm usually not one. I'm trying to get myself into wearing more prints. See, this is my uniform, dark colors, but I have been making more prints. Now, that dress and that particular fabric is amazing. And normally I would say that's not for me. But if any way I could get my body in that dress,
You could get your body in that dress easily. It's called 613-239-3854.
That's your number.
Talking about, I get it now. Oh my god! And raincoating fabric that just would blow my
I know
mind.
It's super interesting. Super interesting.
Yeah. So I think the next one isn't actually for sale, but I think because it's already been sold out. But I had to put a picture of it in it because it almost made me cry. It was so pretty.
It made me cry too because that's my color.
Yeah.
Well, this one is a silk charmeuse, and then again, this was the Dolce & Gabbana collection, and this was a beautiful, beautiful print. They made it in the picture in the blue, but they never made it in the pink, and we got the pink fabric. And one of our clients actually had that gown made. She was going to Italy for a wedding on a hilltop church, and she had that as a gown. But I haven't seen the photos yet, but it was mind-blowing. It was such a beautiful, beautiful fabric. But like in all of these, that fabric, I only had 10 meters and it cannot be replaced. So once it's sold out, there's not a way I can get it in for you again.
Yeah. I like it better in the pink myself. This one here, the flowers, what blew my mind is this is a wool.
Yeah, that is the Dolce & Gabbana. That's again the same poppy collection as the other one. And that was a beautiful, beautiful, kind of like a wool flannel. You could make a coat out of it. Wow. One lady made a beautiful long winter skirt out of it. And it was really, really, really becoming a super, super soft. But very seldom do we ever see a piece of printed wool. And that's why we were so excited about this piece.
Yeah.
And therefore, another reason to pay those prices that we were talking about, not just to have, your own cheaper version of a designer, but also if you get something, the likelihood of it being sold out and not being ever seen again in your area.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing that's hard is sometimes when people came in, like the lady for the Gucci scarves today, she saw the woman looking at it and she said, how many are there? And she saw the tag. I said, there's only 4. I can't get any more. They're sold out. So as we were speaking, she said, can you cut one to see the size? And I did. And she said, I'll take it. So then the first lady said, are you taking one? She goes, yes. Well, Darrell, save me the other one. The other one's sold too. So it goes quite quickly. And often some people will say, well, it's a sales pitch. It's not, but don't be devastated. If you absolutely love it and you walk away from it, don't be devastated if it's sold out because it often does. It sells out quickly.
And I can see that, Darrell, because there's been many occasions where I see things that other people have made. And then I remember specifically, Mimi G did something years ago. And I immediately went to the website, like she said, and they were already sold out of the color that she had. And that wasn't even a designer fabric. So yeah, I can understand that very easily.
That's the thing that I'm scared about with this online shopping. I think it's wonderful, but I'm going to have to be very careful to allow my clients that are local and the regulars to see this fabric, because if I post it online, unfortunately, it's going to be so quickly, they won't have access. So I think we'll have to receive the fabric, put it on the floor, and then within 24 hours or 48 hours, then we'll post it online. So at least then our clients get a chance to get a grab of them.
Okay, Dawn, you're a client, so you can help me out if I see something.
I signed up for the newsletter.
Okay.
So I'll quickly show. I just wanted to show you a variety of the different fabrics, and then there's the quiz. I promise. It's not. I couldn't help myself. I might have put a couple too many in, but it was So there's laces and like this is a sequin. I couldn't believe this is a sequin.
Yeah, this one was amazing. It's all little squares, and they're very difficult. They're a metal sequin, but each little square is all hand like embroidered, so that it gives you one of our clients made a skirt out of it, and it makes it 3D.
Yeah,
Wow.
It's super interesting. Yeah.
And then I love leopard print. This is just such a neat twist on a leopard print. I couldn't help putting that in. Sorry.
This is Gucci again, and this one is a signature Gucci. So signature Gucci means, if you see it on our website or any of our posting, signature means that the fabric is signed by the house. So on this fabric around the little leopard, you're going to find the word Gucci. So we put it on our website, signature Gucci, because it's not from Gucci. It's not Gucci fabric. They used it. But because it's signed, we mark signature, so you know that the name is on the fabric.
Oh, very clever.
Yeah.
Let's see here. This one was just, I've never seen anything even remotely like it. It's like a tiger is outside those little glass window squares that you have or something.
Yeah, this is a beautiful silk georgette, and it's made by Escada, and there was 3 colors by that house, but this was the most original, especially being a tiger. I mean, you never see tiger. And in the squares, Escada is notorious for this. They hide their name. So you will find it in there, but it's very difficult to find it. But it's really a stunning piece of fabric.
It sure is.
It's very different, eh, Myra? Okay, great. Is everybody ready?
Does that count for us too?
Yes, Myra's in. Well, I think we have to disqualify Darrell because I think he's the expert. Yes.
I know the answer.
Yeah, but everyone who's viewing, and if you're watching this on the replay, have a little think and see how many you get right. Okay, so which designer made this?
Pucci.
Pucci is correct.
Hey!
I agree. Pucci.
Yeah, Lisa got it right away.
Yeah, well done, you two. Okay. Yeah, they have a very signature look, a feel. Yeah. And here's the next one.
Ooh, that one's got me. It's beautiful though.
Any guesses, Alethea?
Kind of rhymes with the first fabric.
Yeah. Alethea got it right again.
She did.
Alethea, you're on fire. Gucci. Oh, that's a weird sound. It's Gucci. Here's the next one. There's a hint. Part of the name is hidden somewhere there.
Gaultier? Is that it?
Very good.
Oh my gosh. Alethea's on fire. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. Paul Gaultier?
Jean-Paul Gaultier.
Jean-Paul Gaultier, yes. I actually studied him in school. And this one might not be as...
Oh, no. Good luck on this,
Yeah.
Alethea.
I had to put one, really hard one. And also, how cool is that fabric? And the white bit is actually still the fabric. Wow.
She says Escada.
No, she's wrong. Oh, she's right. Veloso's got it. Roberta
Maria Cavalli.
Oh my gosh, some talented people in the audience. I really thought I was gonna get you guys at in the end. Goodness, yes. So
at least I got a couple.
yeah, you did very well. Everyone did. Wow. I was wondering if anyone had any questions for Darrell. If you do, you can put them down in the Ask a Question tab. And if you'd like to pop on
in the
and
meantime, what is...
Trying to figure out what the sound was. It's gone though. So
Me either. Okay. In the meantime, maybe Darrell can, are there any tips for our viewers as far as sewing tips, fabric tips, anything like that?
The one tip that I kind of thought about, I thought, what would I say was a good tip? The one that I keep hearing about is when you're applying interfacing, the industry often says, oh, yes, make sure you use lots of steam. No, don't use steam. So my analogy to my students is when I say, there's a sticky part of the interfacing, you put it down and you use a dry iron and you hold the iron and you place it down on the interfacing. When you're doing that, imagine a river. It's melting the glue, and the glue is becoming a river. If you push steam, you're pushing bubbles in the river. Those bubbles can't be removed. So as you wash your garment, it peels off because of the bubbles that you have put into the glue. So your best bet is always to use the 20-second rule, which is you hold down a hot iron, hold it on your interfacing, count to 20, lift, move, down again. That's pressing. You don't iron interfacing, you press interfacing. And then you spread the glue equally. And then after that, if you want to use steam, please feel free. But up to that point, I never use steam.
Great tip. Thank you.
Yes.
You're welcome.
We have a question from Alethea. She was just right on the ball with that quiz, I tell you. Oh, it's not a question. She just said she came in late, so she'll have to catch up with the replay. So yes, definitely, because there was some gorgeous fabrics and some very good points, like, fabrics coming from a mill versus, the designer and lots of other things. That was great. But yes.
Talk to you about is earlier on, we were talking about sewing classes and things. We were talking with our staff one day and we said, the one thing I miss is not having a fashion show, because when you come into our store and you get served by one of our employees, rather than just being an average person sewing or a salesperson selling fabric in a fabric land, we have 7 fashion designers on staff. So when you come in and you ask, I'm looking for this fabric, you're getting knowledge, and we can help you choose the proper fabric and things. But we were talking about, we wish we had a fashion show in Ottawa that we could show fashions to, because we graduated and we have nothing. So our store invented a fashion show 2 years ago called Fashion Blooms. And what Fashion Blooms is a fashion show promoting local people in our family. And our family means you shop in our store, you become part of our family. So whether or not you learn to sew with us, or you're a client that sews all the time and you thought, I've never sewed, I've never shown a fashion show, but I want to show a fashion show, you have that chance. So we've done it 2 years in a row, and this October we're doing it for the 3rd time, and we're doing it on our own. So we're doing it in Ottawa, and this year we have 3 brand new fashion designers showing collections that only learned this year to sew with us. So as I mentioned, Jason and Patricia and Nicole, they all started in January, and they're all showing at this year's Fashion Bloom. So Patricia never, ever thought that it was ever in her cards to have a fashion show, but little did she think that she'd take a sewing lesson and now make all of her clothing. And now she's presenting a clothing collection, and she may just start her own business from this.
Oh, how nice. That is awesome. Oh my gosh, you're spreading the love, Darrell.
I love it. I think it's amazing.
Inspiring story, yes. We do actually have a couple questions.
Sure.
Alethea wanted to know if you said what the maximum amount of yardage that you can order for each piece of fabric is.
It depends on what he gets from the mill. So I think the most I've ever seen is maybe around 30 to 50 meters. And that's for all North America. So when it gets to me, I can buy all 50 and I have an exclusive. Most often it's very expensive, so I'm not going to do that. But some of them, they'll come in like I have a piece of Gucci, which I'll show you where is it. There we go. There you go. This is a piece of Gucci matelassé that we got in the store. It's a beautiful, beautiful piece of fabric. And it says quantity 7 meters. So when he brought it back from Italy, he only had 7 meters. I bought it. So I own it all, and nobody else in North America can get it.
So do you have a limit on how much one of your clients could get from you?
No, they can buy it all, or they can buy the minimum that we sell, and we will be selling online, is 1/4 meter, so 25 centimeters.
Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Alethea had another question. She was curious about what temperature setting you use when you press the interfacing.
Oh, great question. So pressing, in our classrooms, we have what's called a Teflon plate. And I wish I had one near me and I would show you what it looks like, but I don't. It's a Teflon plate. Most times you can get it from your local fabric store. We have it in our store. We sell them. you put it on your iron, but because you have it on your iron, whether or not your iron has a Teflon coating on it, it doesn't matter. It will still scorch your fabric. So you put this metal plate on and you set your iron at the hottest setting, which is linen. And then you can iron all the time. I never change the setting on my iron. It's always on the hottest setting because it'll never burn my fabric.
Okay. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for that.
Welcome.
So yes, it's getting time to go, but I definitely want to ask you, so what's next? I mean, you've been in business for a long time. You have an amazing store with amazing staff, and yeah, you've seen the fabrics. You're starting to go online. Do you have any plans for the future?
No, I always think forward, and I think how to bring something new to our clientele. So we're looking for new fabric lines and new notions that clients really, really like. But it's just really the going online is really quite terrifying to me because I'm not accustomed to online things. But it's, it's so far being really, really well received. And I mailed out 2 orders the other day, one to the States and one to Vancouver. And the responses that I got on Instagram just by saying thank you very much. And life's amazing. Life's amazing. I love my fabric store and I love my clients, but it's just, if we can just keep reinventing ourselves and bringing in new fabrics and getting people learning to sew and create this community. I want to work this year with Frocktails because they're a great group of people, but they were, as they said, very timid about throwing this affair because, I don't know if I'm going to get a lot of people or not. And yeah, you are. So I've already emailed them and I thought, you know what, we need to do this and I want to help you because there's so many people that want to come and, Myra's now coming. So this is amazing. So it's amazing. Everybody's going to buy tickets now that you're coming. John's coming up and down.
Oh my gosh.
I think
you hit right up
there. Yeah, I think you hit on something important there too, Darrell. A community, like in the last show, the Ottawa Garment Guild, Vicky mentioned how they didn't have a place to hold their bras lessons. The words totally escaped me, and they were kind of at a loss what to do. And so then they went to you, and you were like, "No problem, come on in here." You're definitely part of the community, and I think that's quite important. Whether you're a blogger or you sell fabric or whatever, and you definitely do that.
Well, you have to. Ottawa is a small town, as most towns are small. So when I buy fabric, I find out usually, are you selling to other stores in Ottawa? And if they are, have you already come from there? Yes. Please don't show me what they ordered because Ottawa is a small town. Let us all do what we're good at and make it original. When people continually buy what I'm buying and post on Instagram and copy my things, well then it limits everyone in Ottawa. So it doesn't make it exciting for me anymore. And I get upset because I think, wow, I've lost that mojo. But, I love Mrs. Obama, and she always said, when they go low, I go high. And that's kind of our analogy. It's like, you know what? We have to do what we're doing and try to do it well. And our focus is our clients and our textiles. And, I can't please everyone, but I'm going to really, really, really try hard. And all my staff feel the exact same as me.
There's only one Darrell, so it's not like they can't copy that. And I think that's what's important. It's the heart that goes behind everything that's important, not necessarily the pieces of fabric, although they are important.
Yes, they are.
Thank you very much.
Well, we can't thank you enough for coming on. I really do appreciate it. 2 introverts to 1 introvert. We really do appreciate it.
Yes.
Well, thank you. I'm absolutely honored. I was bragging. Everybody's like, you're going to be on the show today. I'm like, I know. I can't believe it.
Well, you got to promise us you'll come back and visit us again, maybe after you get your online store.
I promise I'll come back and visit you, and I'll bring a door prize for all your clients when you come to Frocktails, Myra. Done.
Oh, goodness. Oh, boy. What did I get myself into?
Yeah, really. I thought Maria had a question, but she's not popping on screen, so we might keep trying. Oh, no, there she is. Sorry.
Made it.
Hello,
Hey,
Maria.
Maria.
Darrell,
everyone.
Maria from Velo Sews, and she happens to be one of our blabbers on our team.
And I love that
Fantastic.
raincoating printed fabric.
Oh, perfect. It can be yours.
Good. I'll send
Did
an
you have-
email at some point.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Did you have a question about him? I mean, for him? Sorry.
Look, I was having a look at the classes that you run.
Yes.
And I just think that the breadth of classes that you've got are really good. So do you normally get a lot of people going to the online Blazer class for another reason or just to learn?
We built all of our classes like building blocks. So more or less, if I go at the beginning, I have 101, then 102, which is pajama pants, which shows you how to use a commercial pattern, and then the designer skirt. So it shows them how to press properly and do darts. And then we do the online blazer because I can show them sleeves. So it's method for us, like little techniques. We have advanced sewers which say, well, no, I don't want to do that online jacket. I want to do a line jacket with tailor pockets and well pockets. Absolutely. But that we have to maintain and support the sewing community and get it nice and strong for everyone. So we're building this foundation of amazing sewists. So we explain to our advanced clients, like I see Christine Lewick in there, and she's one of our clients that is definitely an advanced sewist. Please bear with us because we are going to throw you a bone and we'll throw you an exciting new class, but we have to get these amazing people, and everyone really understands that that's the way to build a community is to build that foundation. And there's so many new sewers that we have to get those classes out first.
Well, who knows? Maybe one day Darrell will be doing classes online. You never know. Never know.
Oh my God, look at that.
Now who's in the hot seat?
Frocktails, Myra. Frocktails.
I will definitely work on her, Darrell. Well, we've taken up too much of your time. We did start a little late. Sorry about that. As soon as Darrell left the green room, things went horribly wrong at the beginning. So we did start a little late. So thank you for your extra time tonight, Darrell. We really do appreciate it.
Thanks, Darrell.
Thank you to everyone out there.
Right back at you. All right. Bye, Darrell.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh.
That was so much fun. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So goodness, all the blabbers together. So
I know.
we're here.
It's wonderful.
I know, it's so much fun. So we're here. Normally we do community news where we list off a whole bunch of things that are coming up. Well, it kind of just felt like a list, and it was kind of like, I was falling asleep, so I imagine you guys were too. So what we decided is we still have all of those things that we hear from people that are going on. People will say, hey, I have a challenge going on, and I'll put it in the information either above on Crowdcast or down below in the description on YouTube. But we're just going to mention a couple things that caught our eye. So like what's BLABTASTIC this week that caught Maria's, myself's, and Myra's eye. So we're not going to list everything. There is a lot of cool stuff going on though. So definitely check those links. So Myra, do you want to start?
I just got a couple of things, and real quick, I just want to remind everybody about the Black History Month Pattern Designers Challenge. Oh, that's amazing. It started February 1st, ends the end of this month, February 28th. You can find all the information either on my Instagram at OneSoSweet or Natita's Instagram at Natural Dane. Please just give us a look at that, and hopefully you'll join us on that challenge. And also, oh my gosh, I couldn't believe this. I saw it quick on Instagram. The British Sewing Bee is coming back tonight.
Yes, exactly.
Oh my God.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe that. And we cannot get it in the States. Doggone it. Maybe somebody, I know that's probably illegal. I was going to say, maybe somebody can record it and send it to me.
We've got the same issue here.
Yeah.
Wow.
Myra and I were saying we are so jealous. I mean, they have like Sewisfaction is doing like a kind of a challenge around it. The Fold line, one of my favorite kind of community website group things, they're also doing all sorts of stuff around it. And really, I just want to say Netflix,
I know, right?
Amazon, come on. Or like make one in Canada, make one in the States. Darrell could be the host.
Oh, is he still there? Put him in the hot seat again.
Yeah. So yeah, if anyone knows anyone in those companies, please talk to them. But yeah, sorry, Myra. That was Myra's. Yeah. Anything else,
okay.
Myra?
That's okay. That's it for me.
And how about you, Maria?
I actually ducked into the one that you're conducting, Myra, for the Black History Month. And I
saw
had
that.
I had so much fun with the Tracy Reese dress. That was so much fun to do, and I learnt a lot from it too.
Yeah, very, 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 very pretty.
And are the photos up on your Instagram so everyone can see them?
Not me wearing it, but the final product is there. So I did some photos last night, so they'll go up. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, so that was good. There's one that's running on Instagram called Selfless Sew for 10 minutes that I found this month. So they're just prompting people to sew for 10 minutes a day if you're not that productive or if you're not feeling that you're productive. So I thought that was a pretty cool one.
Oh, yeah.
I say that's a good way to improve your skills, to do a little bit each day.
Mm.
Yeah.
It does work. I tried it. It does work. When I was working, it does work.
Yeah, especially if you're busy. That's right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, those are fabulous. I think I'm going to enjoy this better. Just listing off a bunch of things, never knowing what Myra or Maria might say. So, yes. So, the only thing I wanted to mention was that the pattern review weekend, they have it every year. Last year it was in Canada. It was my first year going, and it was amazing. I met some just amazing people, and I'm so thrilled that I went. Well, they're in the process. Like, you can register, but registration's not officially open. If you go to patternreview.com, you can see more about it. And it's in Portland, Oregon, and it's on May 17th to 18th. And so it's like not super official that it's open, but it is. You can get your tickets, and I've already got mine. So I am so excited.
Oh, I'm envious.
It'd be good to see who's there.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun. And we're lucky. Deepika is coming on the show to talk about the sewing bee. The contest they're running on patternreview.com is coming in the future. I can't remember the exact date, Myra. It's in March. So it's on our website, and it's 2.2 seconds. We're already late, so I feel bad here. On the 19th, that is when she's coming on the show, 19th of March. And so that should be very good. So I just wanted to mention that. And the last thing is, please don't forget that we have our uncuttable fabrics. Our too cool to cut.
Yes, too cool to cut.
TSB. This is just a little thing that explains it super quick. You just need to post your photos of your fabric to Instagram with the hashtag too cool to cut TSB. If you tag Myra and I, it makes us a lot easier to find. It makes it a lot easier for us to find. Or go to our That Sewing Blab's Facebook group, and you can put the photos in there, and we can have a discussion in there. Just let us know something about it, like when you got it. Is there a story behind it? Why can't you cut it? Like my Darrell Thomas amazing print I showed you earlier. It can be hard to cut these things. And I've just been thrilled. What I've seen that's impressed me is that some people have already started doing this and have started putting the hashtags. And oh my gosh, I've fallen down the rabbit hole of trying to suggest new things that they could make with it. So like Crystal Sews and stuff, and Fiber Scraps have done that already on Instagram. Yeah. And don't forget to let me know in the comments if we can share it on our show. And again, here we go. March. I should have all these memorized.
What's it?
12. 12. I have them all written down. So on March 12th, we're going to show off a lot of these, and people can suggest, like, hey, I love that fabric. Maybe you could try this pattern, or even just a general silhouette. So actually quite a bit of fun because some of the fabrics, oh my gosh, it's like tonight looking at Darrell's fabrics. Wow.
I know.
But yes, that is our new version of the community news. What's blabtastic this week kind of thing. Yes.
Okay, so anything else, ladies?
Next week, we have the amazing Elizabeth Farr from Elizabeth Made This. And she's coming to talk about the day and night dress challenge. And you are looking at 3 women right here who are all participating in the challenge. So you'll see us all on the show next week, as well as Elizabeth and some of the other ladies who are participating. So it's still open. Please go to Elizabeth Made This to find out more details. And I think there's a link in there. If not, I'll put it in later. But yep, that's it for the show tonight. Yeah, thanks for watching.
Well, thank you everyone for watching. Thanks for stopping in again,
everyone.
Maria.
Yes, thanks, Maria.
Nice to see you both.
And I hope we get to see each and every one of you again next week, Tuesday, on another wonderful episode of That Sewing Blab. Thank you all again and have a wonderful night. Bye now.
Bye.
Bye.